Sean Dyche stumps Chelsea, Liverpool and Spurs have a 9-goal bonanza, and a Merry Christmas to all, unless you play in Manchester. Welcome back to Hatewatch, where football fans come to watch the world burn. I'm your host, the Fat Asian, and not only is it Christmas, Merry Christmas all, but it's also my birthday. So if you'd like to wish me a happy birthday in the comments, I'd be much obliged. But if you do me an even bigger favor, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at thefatasianofficial. Let the bitches know. And sadly, as you can see, currently I'm home for the holidays, so no green screen this week. You have to survive this video without my ugly mug. I know, devastated. But let's start off the show with a little present. He's had a tough start to his Real Madrid career. His must have felt really good for Kylian Mbappe, just cratering a shot from distance here. I'm in the minority. I was kind of rooting for Kylian Mbappe, and I genuinely hope that this helps with his confidence a little bit. But this is window dressing. The biggest story in La Liga right now is Diego Simeone. He has now guided Atletico Madrid and his brand of terrorism ball above both Real Madrid and Barcelona into first place in España. Yeah, for all the plaudits that we have put on Hansi Flick, don't look down, but it's been one win in the last 5 games for the Catalonians. And that is most likely due to Lamine Yamal missing a bunch of games since November due to a reoccurring ankle injury, which means heading into Christmas, it looks like we got a tight, little fun 3-way race for the title this year in the land of tapas. But enough of the appetizers, let's get into the main course. With survival of the shittest, Wolves get their new manager bump, rounding Leicester in a crucial relegation bout, and poor Leicester just taking another hard L. Hate to see it from my boy Rude, as they are now only 2 points above Wolves in the drop zone. Ipswich got run over by Newcastle, courtesy of one of the most underwhelming hat-tricks that you will ever see from Alexander Isak. But hey, a Hattie's a Hattie, he won't complain. And they all can't be bangers from him. Sean Dyche claims another bounty off one of the big boys, and this time, it's red-hot Chelsea that gets stonewalled. After stifling Arsenal last week, you saw Mandem FC and all the Cole Palmer celebrations going across social media, and said utter woke nonsense. And what preceded was 90 minutes of the most bone-chilling, watch paint dry stall ball you have ever witnessed. The YouTube highlights were only 6 minutes, and honestly, it could have been 30 seconds. It could have been show the lineups, kickoff, and whistle, with Sean Dyche's ugly mug clapping it up as it fades to the YouTube ads. That's all it was. You missed nothing by not watching this game. And this bald lizard man, the arsonist turned firefighter, Sean Dyche, the duality of man, does it again. What a fucking G. And the next team I'm going to talk about, I've never put them in this segment, but miraculously, they are statistically the worst team in the Premier League since November. Yeah, it's time to talk about Man City's death spiral, which apparently knows no bottom. It has been cataclysmic what has happened to this club, how suddenly and violently Pep Guardiola's empire has fallen. And I couldn't be happier about it. A succulent, succulent dish to be served up as a Christmas roast as Man City's injury woes continue. This time the victims, Ederson and Ruben Diaz, who picked up yet another knock that will keep him out for about a month. At this point, we need to check if Arsenal's physio is doing double shifts for Man City, because this is ridiculous. And as the game begins, after the back pass fiascos of last week, Man City pick off right where they left off. Pretty much straight off the kickoff, they nearly give John Duran the opener. Ederson's understudy, Ortega, does make arguably the save of the season. This is a fantastic save. Credit to him. But that was pretty much Man City's highlight for the rest of the match, as Aston Villa, who have been in a slightly poor run of form themselves, were all over Man City in this one. They smelled blood in the water and continued to bludgeon a wounded City until finally a quality ball from the elements splits the Man City defense. John Duran is in, and he doesn't miss this time. And uncharacteristically, there is very little response from City. It's pretty much the villains the rest of the way. Ex-Man City youth player Rogers makes it 2, and it could have easily been 3 or 4 if Aston Villa was less wasteful in front of net. Phil Foden pulls one back late, but it's not enough. And the fall of the Manchurian Empire plows to even darker depths as the villains elbow their way past City up the table. And with Southampton drawing this weekend, that means that since Halloween, no team has been worse in the Premier League than Manchester City. This is simply inconceivable. We're at the point now that pundits are talking if Pep is ruining his legacy, which when you're talking about the greatest of all time, yeah, shit like this kind of matters. Now I have to question things. Will he go the way of Jose Mourinho? Someone who seemed like he was on top of the tactical world till he kind of fell off and now, yeah, I mean, he's in Turkey. Unless he's getting hair plugs, there's no excuse to be in Turkey. But I think we could kind of put a kibosh on if this is truly ruining his legacy, because really, barring Manchester City getting relegated this season, this will most likely be an embarrassing blemish on an otherwise glistening CV. And here's the thing, when it comes to the GOAT conversation, it's pretty much him and Sir Alex Ferguson. And Fergie, one time in the 89-90 season, once had a start to the season so dreadful that by Christmas time, Man United were only 2 points above the relegation zone, and they ended up finishing that year in 13th, with people calling for his head. Now the caveat is, this was in the early years of his Manchester United rebuild, and he never had anything like this happen to him after he established United into a juggernaut. So what we are seeing from Pep City is truly bizarre, and I, for one, hope it continues. This is what the show is about. The title is called Hatewatch. Am I supposed to feel sorry for the 4-time consecutive champions, the winner of 6 out of the last 7 Premier Leagues? Get me out of this purgatory. I'm not supposed to laugh at a team who has the power of oil money that they have used to skirt 115 charges of financial fair play? And on top of that, listen, I'm a Manchester United fan. Have you watched Man United lately? We are dog shit. My season's been done since September. What else do I gotta root for but the downfall of my enemies? And I'll tell you this, for the last 2 months, Man City's downfall has brought me infinitely more joy than watching Manchester United. That is a fact. That is a quantitative fact. And so I say all this to say, Merry Christmas all. May you find a healthy serving of schadenfreude in your stockings on Christmas morning. Arsenal round a crystal side that have been rounding in form, with Gabriel Jesus scoring 5 goals in his last 2 games. Makes sense as we're about to celebrate his birthday. This one was a 5-1 drilling of Palace, and all, notably, without abusing corners. Look at you, Arsenal. You can do it. Unfortunately, this all feels a little bit too little, too late. With Liverpool being nigh invincible, it would take a colossal collapse from them and Chelsea to put Arsenal back into the race. And even if that did happen, it's just more shit luck, because after the match, Bukayo Saka was seen leaving the stadium on crutches. And if the latest reports are to be believed, he's apparently going to miss all of January. It's just not their year. It seems like it never is. And pretty much since that Invincible season, things have never come together again for the London Gunners. But alright, let's talk about what ruined my week, my birthday, and my Christmas. Manchester United versus the low-tier gods, Bournemouth. First thing of note, Molassie is playing. My man. I'm happy to see that you're live, but, bro, I'll be honest, you look really rusty out there. Like, my man was a liability. I'm talking like Ryan Gosling in Remember the Titans liability. He gives away a foul in the final third that leads to the opening goal and gets yanked by Amarin at halftime. And surprise, surprise, Man United give up the opener through a set piece. Yeah, this has been the bane of my club for what feels like a generation now. And when you look at the stats, nearly half of the goals that we've conceded this season have come from set pieces. Xerxes, who got the start at striker this game, has got to do better. For a big fucker, he gets pushed around way too easily. Seemingly very little physicality in his game, and he just gets bullied by Housen here, who scores a header with relative ease, and then runs over the corner and hits just the chill guy celebration at Old Trafford. And that would set the tone for the rest of the day. Just embarrassment for the Red Devils. Xerxes gets a little bit more run into the second half, but on cue, after missing another header played up to him, Amarin yanks him off for Højlund in the 50th minute. The new gaffer had seen enough, and I kind of like that he's got a short leash on these guys. Neither of those players were working, and he yanked them off immediately. Unfortunately, it didn't really make things better, as things went from bad to worse. Mazraoui, who's been fantastic all season, honestly, loses his mind and gives away a stone-cold penalty when he really didn't need to. And just like that, the Cherries are up 2-0 at Old Trafford, and Manchester United respond quickly by self-imploding. Kobe Mainoo gives the ball away in midfield, and after a lovely sweeping movement, it's 3-0 to Bournemouth. The game is done and dusted, as you can hear audibly from the broadcast, Bournemouth fans singing, "You're fucking shit. You're fucking shit," as Man United fans start heading for the exits early, presumably to get the Christmas shopping done. Yes, it's been a Merry Christmas for Man United fans, and fucking Happy New Year. And this one hurts. I know I've been preaching patience with Amarin, and I don't think he did much wrong in this match. A lot of this loss felt like individual mistakes, but regardless, 3-0 to Bournemouth just feels awful. The season has been over for a while. We're not in the race for anything of note, but I will say this. This was different in that it kind of felt like for the first time, this loss felt like a Ten Hag loss, if you know what I mean. We were just nowhere near today. Nothing we did worked. Totally bereft of style and substance. It was a rough one. And coming off the back of really being eviscerated by Spurs for the second time this season, this now makes only 2 wins in Room Aberyn's first 6 games in the Premier League. And questions will be asked, and almost symbolically, at the presser. The roof of the conference room was leaking at Old Trafford during Rumer Aberyn's post-match interview. Yeah, both empires in Manchester are falling apart. Just one team had a head start. I give you the America and England of the Premier League. As for the Cherries, they frolic all the way up to 5th, right under Forest. For you guys who don't understand, it is Christmas in 2024, and Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest are 5th and 4th in the most watched, most competitive league in the world. What a time to be alive. And dare I say, is it time to ask, are we entering into the age of parity when it comes to the Premier League? Has wealth redistribution fundamentally shifted the balance of power in England? Hell no, dog. Nottingham Forest with Aston Villa and Brighton and Brentford from last year to now Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth, these low-tier teams are no longer afraid of the big boys. Now, are they going to win every match against them? Probably not, but they believe that they got a shot. There's no more intimidation factor, not really. And the Cherries manager, this Andoni Iraola, he might be the next one up because his giant-killing CV is mad, son. Taking dubs over Ange Postecoglou, Ruben Amorim, Pep Guardiola, and Mikel Arteta, all with a team that only got back into the Premier League 2 years ago. Simple insanity. But yeah, enough of that. Let's get the poor taste out of my mouth and talk about the most entertaining game of arguably the entire season. Liverpool versus Tottenham. Now riddle me this. What do you get when you mix two of the most hyper-offensive teams in British football? Exactly what you fucking expect. Just spread your butt cheeks open ball for 90 minutes, and it was glorious. Trent starts us off by putting in a God cross, and Luis Diaz says much obliged. Liverpool continue to pry Spurs apart and never really find the second. But Spurs don't give up. They find a goal back before Liverpool beat them back down again. This game can be summed up by that one meme of use, give a thief an energy drink so that they can beat him again, twice, as Liverpool kept on abusing Tottenham's high line. It was 5-1 by the 60th minute, an outright Viking massacre. And from that point on, both teams decided, fuck it, let's just ball. And it was glorious. Back and forth chaos. A goal extravaganza with Spurs pulling two more back before Liverpool getting the sixth and the final nail in the coffin. And as we finished with a scoreline of 6-3, you get the most goals scored in a single game so far this season, and a fantastic watch for the neutrals. When the dust settled, Mohamed Salah is now the league leader in the Golden Boot race with a 2-goal lead over Erling Haaland. He also moves into 4th place in Liverpool's all-time goal scorer list and is the first player in the Premier League era to be in double digits in both goals and assists before Christmas. Slot has them playing liquid football. Multiple players are rounding into form. Gakpo and Sosbolai had excellent games, and everything is almost going too well at this point. It feels like we're in some 14-year-old's career mode save. Spurs, on the other hand, continue to Spurs. After a 4-3 thriller with Man United during the midweek, they are once again in another goal fest. They have witnessed 16 goals over the course of 2 games. And I know he's not getting consistent results, but I beg Tottenham, please keep Big Ange around. The league is better for it. You're not going to win silverware anyway. You might as well gift everybody else what they want. An Ice Spice buttload of goals. Now, whether you're scoring them or conceding them, that's on you. But I must thank you for no boring games. What a hero. What a fucking hero. But that is going to be it this week for Hatewatch, and that is probably going to be the year. Yeah. This is going to be my last video before 2025, so I'd like to wish all you guys a happy new year. I want to thank everyone personally that has watched me throughout this year. I'll be honest, it's been a fucking shit year for me on YouTube and off of YouTube, if I'm going to be honest. So to everyone who watched me this year, thank you so much. You guys do not understand how much your support means to me. And yeah, fuck 2024. Hope y'all's 2025 is better than last year. And yeah, all I can promise is to bring you more hot, sexy, fat Asian content for many years to come. Shout out to all my patrons keeping me alive and well, as we always do. Shout out to the GOAT tier. We got Elm, Robert Matai, Peter Barr, the Fat Austrian, Valente Vasquez, Mo Vidok, and of course, my double GOAT, Sandra Jeremy. Thank you to Alex and Luz for helping me edit this video. If you want to go ahead and hire them for editing jobs, both their socials will be listed in the description down below. And yeah, I guess I'll see you all in 2025. Take care.